Portsmouth is the new home for the next 6 months for Liverpool winger Kaide Gordon. Just a short video on what fans can expect, really. Just to preface, I'm by no means an expert in this, but I do watch the academy week in, week out, so I try to give the best informed opinion that I can. Brief background on the player: 20 years old. Favoured position is on the right wing, and Gordon is Liverpool's second youngest ever goal scorer. Signed for Liverpool as a 16-year-old, as an under-16 player, coming with a massive reputation, mainly down to the fact he'd already been involved in the first team at Derby County at the ages of 15. He came to Liverpool, quickly promoted to the under-18 squad, to the under-21 squad. He rose through the ranks really well. He had a good goal-scoring record and was a massive influence in all the games that he played. He was doing well and became tipped to go on to become a main part of the Liverpool squad, whether that be back up to Mohamed Salah. Eventually, it's obviously unrealistic, although it's what fans clamoured for at the time, or just anywhere across the front line, depending on how his development would sit, really. But it didn't quite materialise, and that comes with a good reason, as Gordon was robbed of a lot of football from key ages, from 17 to 19. He missed 18 months, no minutes at all. He had a pelvic issue, which saw him sidelined and robbed of his key development years. So to even be where he is now is a massive achievement, to get back to a good level. He came back into the under-21 side last season and slowly built up his minutes, of course with an injury of that length. A number of small niggles followed, but he actually played himself back into really good form, which saw Norwich take the plunge on him this summer. In terms of his play style, he does play primarily on the right, and he does really tend to cut inside. He's one of those players, although you may be able to predict what he's going to do, there's not much he can do to stop it itself. He does have a lot of success being able to cut in on that right-hand side, and he's a bit of a sharpshooter in and around the box. He's not afraid to pull the trigger. He doesn't need much backlift when he shoots a ball, so it's hard to defend against. And I think we saw that in his goal, where he became the second youngest scorer for Liverpool. He's quickly played the ball into his feet, and no sooner was it in the back of the net. He definitely will have adapted his game. He's massively grown in his time out, and that is something he will have had to change and adapt to. All in all, he does have 18 appearances in men's football, but he's never really been given a proper run to show what he can do. And we've seen how that can be a massive difference for a player, and it might be what Gordon needs. To be honest, it's a bit of a surprise that after Norwich, Liverpool are sending Gordon straight back to the Championship. It's not that he can't do it just would have been a much safer option to maybe take a step down and go with maybe a team in League One. He managed 10 appearances in the Championship so far for Norwich this season, and a lot came from the bench. He got a single goal. Although he did receive glowing reviews from all of his teammates and all of his coaches, it was mentioned how it was about getting him to the physical level, and by the time he was in and around that area, it was probably too late in terms of drip feeding him the necessary minutes, in terms of getting him used to the league. So it's a really interesting one. It would be amazing for him to hit the ground running, and maybe he has something to prove in the Championship. But for Portsmouth, he definitely can be an asset from that right-hand side. Despite playing primarily out on the right, he does have a knack for getting in good goal-scoring positions. I think he'd pop up quite favourably on maybe like a shots chart. He manages to find a lot of central positions where he can take shots from, and I think that's a useful asset to have. But we will see how he does at Portsmouth, where he will, of course, be joining former Liverpool teammate Harvey Blair. That might help him settle in, and that might be something that's good for him.